Time to go to work.
Okay, today we're going to review the Stronghand Tools Build Pro welding table, model TM210427. And it's basically 78 1/4 by 38. And I've always liked fixture tables, and I've never really had a good one like this. I did have a giant acorn table one time, but I didn't really have all the clamps and stuff to do it. And this particular table I bought used. I got it on Facebook Marketplace, and I looked it up, and it was like $3,900, and plus whatever the cost of extra clamps and stuff was. Prices changed, so that might not be true now. This table is probably 2.5 years old, 3 years maybe. But the really cool thing is if this table is perfectly square and you put your stops in and you use all the clamps like you're supposed to, your project's going to be really, really nice and square. And if you saw my last video where I built I was working on my western gate. This is the other side of that gate. So that first gate, I didn't really have a welding table, and it took me a little while to, get it nice and square. It did come out nice and square, but this is so much easier. And the thing I like about it is, like right now I'm sitting on a little bar stool, and you can really be comfortable. You set it where it needs to be, clamp it down, and then you can basically rest your hand or your arm and weld in a comfortable position. Now this isn't a how to weld video. This is just a review on the Stronghand Tools Build Pro welding table. I've done welding for many, many years, but I'm not a professional welder by no means. I just basically do my own projects. But yeah, this table is pretty amazing. I can see myself using it even with wood, although I wouldn't want to get a bunch of glue on it. Cleaning it's really easy too. You just basically wipe it down with some WD-40 every night after you're done. Okay, so this is a review of the Stronghand Tools Build Pro welding table, model TM210427, and it's basically 78 1/4 long. I'm not sure the reason for the quarter, by 38. So 78 1/4 by 38. And I don't know how I've ever not had one of these like all the time. Now there's more expensive ones and there's cheaper ones, but this one is really solid. The tops are super thick. I bought this one used, so I'm not sponsored or anything. All my reviews are always honest reviews. I don't think I've been sponsored by anybody. But yeah, it actually came with a lot of parts. The guy had spent $1,500 just on the clamp kit, and I don't think after welding this frame together, I don't think I'm going to actually. I thought maybe I needed some more of these clamps that were taller and stuff, but at this point, this little kit is doing what I need, so I probably will not. I will not add any more at this point. Although I did see some pretty cool little towers, but I thought, yeah, I could make those. Between my laser and this table, I could probably make those. So at this point, I have all the clamps I need for this little project. But the review, these work really well. Even these little these down clamps, they tighten up real easy. You can actually hold this and use an Allen screw to tighten them too. But they have these little ball bearings, and you basically put them through these holes. Some of them are these all the same size? No. Some of them are shorter. So some of the things you might not need as tall a one. I don't know what though, unless you were just using it as a stop maybe. But you have to just kind of play around with it. It did come with some little magnet things to set things on. Also, these are for you can do corner. Like if you want to push something against a corner, this would be a good way to do it right here. You could basically, it's hard to see probably, but you could basically put one of these snap on. So there it's on there. And you could basically, if you're close enough, you could basically shove, you know, this could be it could push, but it's mainly made for pipes. So basically you could have, you know, you have, well, you have to go through all the little parts, but you would have a part down here on the bottom, stick your pipe in there and be able to clamp right down on a pipe. Like let's say this was a pipe right here. You could basically, and that, you know, but this thing worked really good. The only thing that I, you know, could possibly add is some way of pushing, but I think you could use this to do that. I think it could push with these angle things. You could also set it up. You could also set it up a different way. Let's see. You could have one of these like this, and basically have it. Actually, you could flip this around and be able to push like that. You basically have to have, let's see, how would you do that? You would flip this around. So you pull this off, flip this around, and then you could basically clamp these in and be pushing it this way like that. That would actually work. I wouldn't mind having a couple of those set up like that, especially maybe a couple. Now this one, I really like this one. This is a ratchet style, and the way this works, it basically, you have it, there it's loose. And there it's clamped. So that's pretty quick. The only thing I don't like about these is like when I'm welding my animals in, you could go right there like that. When I'm welding my animals in, you know, I like to have this clamped down. But the problem is, this T-handle that tightens it can get in the way of your stuff that you're welding in here. I thought about, they do have some like screwdriver handle type that looked pretty cool. But I would give this, I bought this used. I think it's a 3-year-old table. Yeah, probably 2 or 3 years. And I looked online, they go for about $3,900, $4,000, and they just keep going up depending on all the accessories that you get. But yeah, this was a pretty good deal, and basically half the price of new for me. And it came with, he said $1,500 worth of hardware, and I probably believe him. Just this little ratchet strap right here, or this ratchet one, I looked it up online, and just this one piece was $50. So yeah, they add up really quick. Anyway, yeah, Strong Hand Tools fixture table. I'd have to give it a thumbs up, and yeah, it's probably the best. It sure made this frame a lot easier to do than I was doing before. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you next time. Later.
There he goes, it's a working man. He's trying to make a living any way he can. And he'll break his back for $1 or $2. Oh, there ain't no shame in what he do. Oh, work it out.